Shola Ameobi played for 7 clubs during his career, but he'll be fondly remembered for his 14 years spent with his boyhood club, Newcastle United. Today, we're giving Rob the opportunity to talk to Shola about his work in the charity, also about his career at Newcastle and what happened in the future with Shola.
And so the Coca-Cola Trophy Tour is about bringing fans closer to the action as a celebration of the Premier League and the fans that make it so special. So what do you think of the hashtag Where Everyone Plays campaign?
Yeah, for me, it's, you know, football's it's such a big part of who we are, you know, in terms of society. And I think, you know, we see the players on the pitch, but there's so much more behind the scenes that goes on. And I think it's something that everyone can be involved in, you know. And you know, you look at people working in the stadiums, you look at people, the kit men, the people behind the scenes and TV, the media. You know, there's so much attached to the great game of football, and that's what it's all about: getting everyone involved, making sure everyone, you know, has a part to play if they want to in our beautiful game.
Of course. And so, what was it like? Sorry, I'll bring the mic closer. What was it like starting your career, your senior career, under the legend Sir Bobby Robson? Yeah,
it was surreal. I mean, you know, if you look, you know, hindsight's a great thing, and when you look back at the time, you know, as a young 18-year-old, you know, starting my career under the tutelage of one of the greatest managers to ever live, you know, I think you don't quite realise that. You know, you just obviously want to make a name for him, but very quickly I learned that he was very different in the way he approached the game, in the way he saw, in the way he treated his players, and I think that's what made him the who he was. He was a man who loved his players, and that really came through. And for me, he's definitely been my, you know, the biggest factor in my game, and the biggest factor in my career. You know, where I am today is a large part due down to the Sir Bobby Robson and the impact he had on me.
Of course. And how important is Sir Bobby's legacy and the work of the Sir Bobby Robson Foundation? Yeah,
I mean, it's a huge part of what I do, and I you know, try and play as big a part in that, because ultimately, you know, he was a giant of the game, but more than that, he loved people. He loved to have an impact, a positive impact on everyone, and that's what the Sir Bobby Robson Foundation is all about. It's about affecting the lives of others in a positive way, and he would have loved that. And I love the fact that his name lives on. You know, he was a great man. I had, like I say, had the privilege to work with him for so long, and even after he left Newcastle, I was in touch with him. So he really affected me, and I just want to do the same. You know, leave a legacy. You know, help the Sir Bobby Robson Foundation as much as I can to help those who can't help themselves, and to make a mark, a positive mark.
And moving on more to the current day, what do you make of the signing of Miguel Almiron and the forward-thinking partnership that he has created with Salomon Rondon and Ayoze Perez? Yeah, it seems to have unlocked a little thing with Perez and Rondon. I think the fact that you're bringing in such a good top talent, obviously, is a huge thing for the North East, huge thing for Newcastle. You know, having spent money on a good player coming in, advancing the team, advancing the squad. I think that's really helped in the atmosphere of the whole club. You know, you walk into the stadium, there's a real buzz about the place, and you know, you can't underestimate how much of an effect that has on players. I think obviously over the course of the season there's been some negativity, but the fact that he's come in and helped, obviously, with his quality, but you know, if you talk tactically, he's got the pace to stretch teams, and I think that's really helped Perez, and obviously the link between all three of them.
Shola Ameobi played for 7 clubs during his career, but he'll be fondly remembered for his 14 years spent with his boyhood club, Newcastle United. Today, we're giving Rob the opportunity to talk to Shola about his work in the charity, also about his career at Newcastle, and what happened in the future
renews his contract in the summer.
Huge. You know, you talk about Sir Bobby Robson. You know, if you look at a manager who we've got now, you know, he's in that mould in terms of like the ability he has to inspire, the ability he has to coach, and the tactics he has. And I think it's really important for a club like Newcastle to keep their best assets, and he's definitely one of those key pieces of you know, that you want to build upon. And I think, you know, you've seen what he's done with the squad he's had. You know, it's, obviously he would like to spend more, he'd like to get more funds in, but I think it's vital that we keep a manager of his calibre. Obviously we don't know what discussions are happening at the moment, but I would like to hope that as we continue to play into the season, as we continue to develop and improve our results and hopefully finish, you know, where we finished last year, even higher, I think that will go a long way in determining if he stays at this club. So I think it's important that we do all we can behind the scenes as well to give him what he wants, because he is a top manager. We all know that, and more importantly, the fans love him, the players love him, and I think that's really important.
Really powerful, isn't it?
Yeah.
And is there a Newcastle player in recent times that has reminded you of the Shola Ameobi back in 2000?
Oh gosh, I'm an enigma, aren't I? I don't think you get many players. But I think, like for me, you know, coming through the academy, I love the fact that Sean Longstaff has really, you know, come out of nowhere. You know, that's basically was my story. You know, the fact that you know, I one day was preparing for a youth team game. Next year I was playing against Chelsea in 2000. But I love the fact that, you know, I'm passionate about the academy because I'm a product of that, and I think there should be so many more players, you know, coming through there, and because we want local guys playing in for our team, you know, and I think the fact that Sean's been able to do that has been a big sort of bright shining part of the season for me. The fact that he's been able to do so well as well, slot himself well, and I think he's going to be an integral part to Newcastle United for years to come, and that's what gives me the biggest buzz.
A bit of a quick question, what was it like to score the equalising goal at the Nou Camp?
Oh, head spinning. Like I said, to be able to play in the Champions League and to play at that level at so young is what dreams are made of, and I remember before the game thinking, do I even belong here? You know, because obviously the magnitude of the game, and but to be able to do what I did, play how I played, I guess for me it was a pivotal point in my career. You know, really enforcing in my mind that yeah, I could do that, I could play with the best. So that was a huge part of my, I guess, learning curve as a footballer growing up.
Yeah, it was one of my earliest memories, your early days of your career. And you are the club's joint third top goal scorer in the Premier League. So how does it feel to have scored nearly as many as the greats of, you know, Beardsley, Andy Cole, and of course Alan Shearer's right up there as well? Yeah,
he's pretty far away from the rest of us. But yeah, I mean, listen, as a kid, you start out just wanting to play for your hometown club. That's the dream, you know, make a few appearances, and the fact that I've been able to obviously play for so long was something I never took for granted. You know, the fact that, you know, there were times where I could have probably gone away, but because I love the club, I love what it represents, you know, and obviously being a local boy as well, that's what my dream was, and for me to be able to then go on and achieve all those things, playing in, you know, Europe and scoring those goals, I guess was just a cherry on the cake, you know, and just living the dream. And I think that's you know, simply it. I was living, you know, something that I had fantasized about for so long as a kid, and being able to do that for such a long time, you know, was such a pleasure, and something that I, like I said, never took for granted.
And speaking of Alan Shearer, how important was it for your career to have been mentored and partnered Shearer up until his retirement in 2006? Yeah,
again, you know, you look at the likes of Alan Shearer as a kid growing up, playing, you know, he played for England, he was being a local star coming home, and it's like, yes, this is amazing. You know, one day, I you know, coming through the youth team, imagine if I could get to play with him. So it was huge for me because I got to learn a lot. See, from how he played, more than anything, seeing the way he during the week prepared for games, professionalism, you know, the passion he had for it, you know, and obviously being Newcastle number 9, it's like the position, you know, and for him to be a part of his history, you know, breaking the record, Sir Jackie Milburn, and all those things, you know, is, for me in my career, is something that I cherish, you know, being a part of his legacy, you know, it's something that I you know, I hold in quite high regard for myself and my career as well.
And of course, we can't not mention the fact that you were affectionately nicknamed the Mackem Slayer. Of course. Yeah. So, what was it about Derby Day, and can you pinpoint a certain favourite moment from playing in the derbies? Yeah,
the Derby Day is a strange one because I guess you prepare the same for every game, but obviously as a local boy, you know, obviously it means so much more.
Something else going on up there, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's born out of years and years of being a Newcastle United fan. You know, I think that when it came to those days, there was just something different about them, and I think the more I played in them, the bigger the occasion became. Obviously, the passion of the fans was never waned in those games. I think that really helped me to really bring the best out of me, and I think that's why you can't underestimate the importance of fans in games and in big situations where they are a part of what we do. And obviously, when you put in an atmosphere like that, some people thrive and others don't. And lucky enough, I was able to thrive, and like I say, having affectionately been named that is a great thing for me. You sort of moving forward as well.
Okay. And just as we're about to wrap up, so what can we expect from Shola Ameobi in the future? And we understand that you are looking at an academy coaching role at the club.
I know that the roles have come. There's been roles made. Obviously, I've been at the academy for years now. Coaching with under 14s. So it's something. Obviously, I will always be affiliated with the club. It's in my bones. It's in my blood. And obviously, if the right thing does come along, I'm sure that hopefully there'll be discussions happening. But yeah, it's something that it's a club that I will always be a part of, and it will always be a part of me. Obviously, still part of the foundation as well. So
and it's a joy. It's a joy and a privilege to have you.
It is. It's a joy for me. The fact that I've been able to do this. I feel it's important that I give back to the next generation. That's my thinking. Obviously, I've had my time, and I think it's important that I pass on whatever I've learned and whatever I've sort of been through to the next guys. And I think if I can do that, then I'll be a happy man.
Shola Ameobi, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for joining us on Newcastle Fans TV.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.